Welcome back to Biomutant. You join us today as we head to speak to Out of Date. If you missed the previous episode, we managed to unite all the tribes, so now there is no more warring tribes going on. We can focus just on the story and what is happening to the world roots. But first of all, we need to go back to speak to Out of Date about the master plan.
He says you really need to go see Noko as soon as possible.
Pa, wherefore, where?
He's happy to help. He says you really need to go see Noko as soon as possible.
Pa, wherefore, where?
He guesses you're back for more.
Loma utulu, ba, yowo.
Didn't have much else to say, so no problem.
I know that might seem like a waste of time, but without that happening and us speaking to Out of Date, we wouldn't have actually got the mission to progress for us to go and meet Noko, so we needed to actually speak to him first. So here we are, let's go and see Noko and see what she needs us to do.
Ah, the Gnote pen. Noko never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first. Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again.
Andro?
She wonders if you remember her. She's Noko. She let you ride her Mjut when you were a kid. Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark. But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going. Is sure they'll come back on their own once you stop forcing them. Hopefully not to haunt you, though. You've suffered enough already. Noko remembers those days too, but she never lets herself wallow in them, no matter how tempting that can be.
Andro?
She sees you're back to buck with Lupa Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least. She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still.
Andro?
Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like, until it's worn smooth. But you get to blaze your own trail from here. Then you are stronger than her. She can't help wanting Lupa Lupin to pay for what he did to her Gnotes, despite the fact it's against her nature.
There's a bright day coming!
Hey, that's going to get you burned.
The only one getting burned around here is you.
That stings.
Oh, do you want some first aid for that?
Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones. The choices can be overwhelming, but you have to choose, or you just stay where you are. And what kind of choice is that? So happy the world is going to live, would have been crushed to see all the Gnotes die with it. Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out. Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to any day, and sometimes the nights too. They're just so shiny, makes her smile to think about them. But let's not speak of that now. She has an idea where the Mjut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Mjut Meadow. The Mjut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you. You should lead the Mjut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the World Eater. It's the most magnificent creature she's ever encountered. A creature straight out of a dream or story.
So Noko needs us to find the lost Mjut. I'm assuming it has something to do with the next World Eater. Maybe it's our way of beating it. But we'll find that out in due course. But first, we need to head into this cave system and hopefully find this lost Mjut inside. Now, I always get worried whenever we enter a system or a cave or anything like that that's really quiet. I'm always waiting for the next thing to jump out on us. Let's head in and see if we can find it.
You found the Mjut meadow. Watch out for the Mjut. Nothing's more important right now than this. Running low.
It was always going to happen. There was always going to be someone waiting to attack us, wasn't there? But that is the flat defeated. Let's head back to Noko and tell her we got the Mjut.
Says you should watch yourself if you're heading further east. They'd had trouble there with a bandit camp. Now that the Mjut is back in the pen, it seems calm, but Noko is still concerned. She says the Mjut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down. The Mjut once found and ate a Bon-Bon Gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down. She says that you should find some Bon-Bon Gummies for the Mjut by the crossway. At least, that's where she found some last time. She figures the choosies from the old world are made from gummy trees, but wouldn't be surprised if they were actually made from some chemical concoction, though.
So now Noko needs us to find the Bon-Bon Gummies to feed the Mjut and calm it down. It looks pretty calm to me, but nonetheless we need to find these. And we arrive at a town at the crossway.
This means you have a choice.
I wonder what we're going to find here.
Which way?
Now, it looks like we're going to make our way across there into the other building. And then across that one into that one. And what we're looking for, I'm assuming, is inside. I'm not too sure how we're going to do this, but we'll figure it out. Can we just not walk through the door?
Need the right...
Of course not. Of course it's locked. It's a little bit obvious that it should be locked, to be fair. Okay, I think what we do, we have a good look around and we work our way to the top, and then we go inside the other building and hopefully find these Bon-Bon Gummies.
The only thing keeping the tree alive is the work you put into it. Wishes you goodbye.
Peyu Oshina Toshina Mai.
Thinks it's kind of strange you haven't met Lobo yet. You ever ride a blimp?
Chetsuji Machawao.
Wouldn't be surprised if you met again. Looks like the control box handles need to be wheeled to buzz the wire. Wired up and ready to go. Take this seriously, or it'll take you down. Want to get your arms swole? Grab those guns flexors and get pumping that iron. Got to time it right to make them work. Left, right, left, right. Pumping good, looking better. It's time to do what's right, for certain values of right. You shouldn't be surprised if you stumble on more of these. It's an electro panel, a closed loop that pushes volty spark. Flick the switches in order to greenlight the current and activate the electrons in the panel. Good. The loop is electrified enough to spark. That's a motored blind box dispenser. These auto markets were quite popular in the long gone for those who had coin left for fun. Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. Just a few moves left. Make them count. What you see is what you get. Once it's out of the blind box, that is.
And that is the Bon-Bon Gummy acquired from the blind box. And that is us done. We now need to head back to Noko. But we're not really clear with the crossaway. There's still a few things to find. So I'm going to do this off camera. And we'll see you back with Noko as we give her the Bon-Bon Gummy.
With its attention diverted to the chewy Bon-Bon Gummy, the Mjut calms down. But Noko is still concerned. She's relieved the Mjut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got. The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old-world mecha Mjut. If she remembers correctly, she spotted it at the Smilo Shopperia while scavenging for treats for the Gnotes. That's not so far away. Seems to her they preferred the mecha Mjuts over the living counterparts in the old world. Maybe the Gnotes were near extinct. Noko is always willing to help. Didn't have much else to say, so no problem.
So Noko now needs us to go and find the sit-tight. I think it's the saddle. It's the one that makes the most sense in my mind. But let's head towards where she wants us to go. And here we are. There is a bit of e-waste for us to collect here. If you haven't seen us do this before, we have been knocking these totems down as we find them. It's the only way of upgrading and getting better weapons and things. But here we are at the Smilo Shopperia. And there's enemies.
Slash and dash. Sharp steel. The dark's good for sneaking up on things. Boxes like this are few and far between. However, that's no great loss. Talking pictures from the aforetimes lacked a message. As the iBox broadcasts, it's hit or miss, but when it does hit, it's usually right in the feels. Stay away from that biohazard. You'll want to wash yourself off for a month. You need to line up the switches so they match. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. At least the temp's nice and steady underground.
So that is the sit tight we've been looking for. I think it's on a mechanical horse. We haven't quite finished clearing this area, so we're going to quickly clear it. And now we're back after clearing the area. Now we just need to get the sit tight off.
That's it. The sit-tight is loose. Time to stop horsing around and get the sit-tight back to Noko.
And now, back to Noko we go.
Now that the Mjut's got a mouthful of Bon-Bon Gummy and the brand new sit-tight is in place, the Mjut is ready to ride. Noko's been training another fantabulous little critter that'll hopefully become a distraction for the hoof puff when you confront it. She's called them glitter moths, and the best way to find them is to go talk to Mito. She's asked him to keep them somewhere safe. You'll find Mito at Bright Light. He's a light-headed fellow, but hopefully he'll remember where he stored the moths. He's been able to literally shed some light in the darkness for her over the years, but also because of his cheerful manner. Noko is always willing to help. Says goodbye to you.
And that is everything for Noko done for the time being. We now need to go and see Mito and find the glitter moths. But that is it for today. Thank you very much for joining us. We've managed to achieve a few bits in the story, I think. We've now got the Mjut. I think we can ride that on our way to Mito as well. But thank you for joining us. We will see you next time as we head to find the glitter moths.